What's going on, everybody? It's Mel here, Darkside of the Grill. We got something neat for you today. Wagyu beef ribs, these big old plate ribs. We're going to be doing them up in the cage on the live fire on the Fuegos, Texas. Are you as pumped as I am? Going to be deadly. Make sure you hit subscribe, hit the bell, do all that stuff, and let's get into it right now. These beautiful Wagyu beef ribs, sourced local here in Alberta. We're a big fan of Alberta beef out here. Gonna do them real simple. I'm not even gonna trim these up too much. Why? Because we're doing live fire. That's right, live fire. A lot of this is gonna render out. All we're looking for is real bad silver skin and stuff like that, and these are already trimmed up real nice. Take a look at that marbling. Wagyu beef ribs, people. This is absolutely deadly. So I'm gonna give her just a quick pat. Quick pat with this paper towel. Now we're leaving that membrane. Remember, I always say, especially with the live fire, that membrane, you need it. It holds it together. That's a whole part of this thing. Salt and pepper both sides. And just like any of my other live fire cooks, we're gonna have a nice salt solution that we're gonna hit it with as it cooks. But we're gonna start salt, pepper, garlic. Oh, that's gorgeous. Cannot wait for these. We got a special guest today for lunch, so maybe he'll grace us with his presence on this channel. Don't be shy with this seasoning. It's just like brisket, right? Brisket on a stick, that's what I like to call it. Heavy, heavy. Builds a nice crust, renders into that meat, into that fat. There we go. That's what I'm talking about right there. And if you're wondering why I didn't use a binder, Mel does not like to use a binder. I like the meat to speak for itself. The salt in that rub is gonna pull the moisture out, and that's gonna make all of this stick, just the same as if you put mustard or mayo. A lot of that has oils in it, and you know what oils are doing? They're blocking the smoke from penetrating the meat, and you can't have that. You don't want that. This is as natural and awesome as you can get. Why not? Really, why not? Now let's get this cage set up. Absolutely deadly here. Right in the middle, bone side in. And then you, how are we doing this now? Yep, there we go. Just like that. In, locked. Tighten it up over here, and right through. Come on, you. Click. There we go. And that's it. That's her, ready to go. Gonna get that fire, make sure it's burning, and then I'll see you in a second over there to set this up. All right, now the fire is lit. We're building coals, using post oak. Everything is going according to plan. We got our ribs seasoned up, ready to go. I've got this mount right here. I'm using my hand, and I'm feeling the temperature of that fire to figure out where we're going to be posting and putting that rib rack. I've got it centered right here to the fire. Bone side in first. We want to cook the bones for 3/4 of the time before we flip it around to the meat side to finish it off. Very important. And I'm going to start it off with the fat, the heavy fat on this rack up high. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Nice and warm on that end. This is good. As it burns down a bit and we get a nicer coal bed, we can position that heat source a little better to where we want it with these beef ribs. But I'm not too worried about it right now. The heat is nice, it's even. We're gonna let this rock for at least an hour before we hit it with any kind of juice, any kind of marinade. We're gonna figure that out as we go along here. I'm very excited for this. It's gonna be good. All right, the ribs are going amazing. Everything is nice and even on here. What I want to do now, throw some gloves on, and we're going to rotate that rack. That's super important. And then we'll get to seasoning these up with some juices. That way we've just switched around. This end was cooking a lot more than this end, and now we've just reversed it. So it's gonna get a nice even cook on all 4 quarters of this. Wagyu beef ribs, gonna be deadly. Now it's super important you're placing your coals closer to the small side, and you've got your big live fire up, missing the top. You don't want to burn anything, right? So you're always having to adjust and move and just understand what the fire is doing. I got these big, beautiful Dalstrong tongs. These are perfect for this. This is, right? Always. The fire is like a living thing, and you definitely have to treat it right, or it'll burn everything. And here we are, kind of coming up on the end. Absolutely perfect. You see that bone pull? Look at how much of the bone is sticking out now. Everything's tightened right up. This has come along real nice. Take a look at this. Just ripping. Perfect. We're getting ready to pull her. Rested a bit. Absolutely amazing. We've been spritzing it with apple cider vinegar and apple juice 50-50. That's it. Easy peasy. Look at those bones. Oh, this is gonna be good, people. Beautiful. Now this guy is ready to go. The fat has been rendered. The bone pull is tons. We've got teeth about 3 inches long. Everything is perfect. I'm gonna put my mitts on, grab it, bring it over to the cutting board. We're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna let it rest for a little bit. This is gonna be deadly. I hope you're as pumped as I am. Wagyu beef ribs on the live fire. Mwah! Here we go. She's red hot. Red hot. Pull this out. Ooh, look at those ribs. Absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, we're gonna pull some foil out. There we go. I'm gonna set her. Ooh, just perfect. Flip it over. Right there. Now I'm gonna take a bit of this apple cider, apple vinegar mix. This is what we've been spritzing her with. And we're gonna put a little bit in here as we wrap. Ready? Not a ton, but a little bit. There we go. I've seen people do tallow. I've seen people do soup broths. I've seen people do everything you can think of. This is easy peasy for me. Right there. Now we're gonna let it rest about 20 minutes. 20 minutes before we revisit this, and it's gonna be deadly. Oh, and here we go, nicely rested. These beautiful Wagyu beef ribs done over the live fire. Oh. I told you I was excited. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That bone pull. Let's do a cut. Oh. Take a look at that. Isn't that perfect? And just dripping. Look at how juicy and tender that is. Oh. What do you think? Should we do a bite? Do a bite, just tell you right where we're at. Incredible. Got that kiss of the oak, that live fire. It's not mush, people. This is the key to this, is that it's not mush. It's perfect. It's everything a beef rib needs to be. Take a look at this. Wagyu dino ribs off the live fire. Hit the subscribe, hit the follow, Hit me down in the comments. Let me know what you think. This is a hard win, people. Till next time.